Wait. So, hi everyone, thank you for coming to this week's meeting. We'll be going over CSS, and it's basically what makes everything look good.
Okay. Yeah. This script. So am I going? No. Let's try it.
Yeah. So, our agenda for today, we're going to go over the CSS styling intro. So, we'll cover all those topics, and we're going to have a code along at the very end.
Okay. So what is CSS? That sounds complicated. It's not that complicated. Don't worry about it. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheet, and that might sound very complicated. Right before I said it wasn't complicated, but it's not complicated. CSS is basically just a thing we write down to tell the browser like, hey, I want this to be blue, or I want this position in a certain way, or spaced around differently. That's basically what it is. Some special quirks about it. You can export it into a .css file to like import it for different websites, like for different websites. So if you want to like, I don't know, you create like a class to center a thing or color a thing differently, and you want to use it for a different website or a different page, you just like link it in. The specific line you would put in HTML is like right here. You would change file into whatever the CSS name is. We'll show you a bit long. We'll show you I'll show you a bit more in the code long later. So cheers. So the syntax for CSS, generally when it's in the .css file, the exported version of the CSS, it's going to be the selector first, then in brackets property : value, and the selector we'll talk about it a bit later. I mean, we'll talk about it in the next slide, I believe. Just know that this is just generally how you write it. Additionally, some things you can do is that you can add a attribute in the HTML thing. So specifically here, I'm not sure if you can see that because my PC froze because I have a DRAM-less cache SSD. Anyway, here it is. Style attribute. Style equals color : blue. So basically, you can just attach CSS into the HTML itself. You might wonder why would we ever bother with the .css file? This is very unorganized, and you can't really like export it to other files. To other HTML pages if you want. So that's why we don't do that usually. But if you feel particularly lazy or frustrated in one day, there you go. Okay, basic selectors. Wow, this is a lot of stuff. Classes. Basically, I didn't show it here, but whatever. Right here, there's going to be an attribute that you can attach to the HTML called class. Class is basically just like a little signifier that says, hey, we have a CSS file, and you put a dot in front and the name of the class. So in this case, it'd be class name, and then here's the value. So this is an example of a selector. It's selecting what the class name is or what the class attribute is. If any of this is confusing, don't be afraid to speak up. Yeah, cheers. And if you want to use ID, like in this case, ID equals ID name, you put a hashtag in front, and then what the name of the ID of what the name of the ID is, and again, property : value. We'll be talking about what properties is, what examples of properties a bit later, and we'll be also talking about values either in the next slide or a bit later. I don't really remember. Element. So if you don't want to bother with like classes, IDs, or like any other selectors, then you could just put value, which is by element. Which what I mean by element is like like div or span or h1 header, like anything that like if you were to write HTML. So I know I put element here, but y'all know how HTML looks like. Basically, you just put any HTML element and then brackets. It counts as a selector. For more reference, you can go to this page or just look up CSS selectors in Google, and then it'll show you. W3 Schools has a really like friendly version of it. If you want to see like a more like in-depth and like documentation style thing, just to go to the develop.mosey what's the website, and it'll be right. Okay, units or values. So there's two types of units. There's absolute units and relative units. Absolute units are like things basically they won't change. Like no matter how big your screen is, no matter how what else you do with it, it's always going to be there. Pixels, you know what a pixel is. I mean, okay, you might not know what a pixel is. A pixel is, it's like the way that display works is that it's a bunch of little lights in your magical black box. There's a lot of there's a lot of lights that make colors, and a pixel is one of those lights. So generally, you wouldn't. A lot of legacy websites would use this, but this isn't very good because as the screen gets bigger, I don't know if you can see it, but you know, I'm putting my hands in a small rectangular fashion. If the rectangle gets bigger, the thing that you put your value to stays the same size, so it won't like scale up. So that's why we have relative units. For this instance, EM is relative to the font size. Now, REM is relative to the root font size, and the root font size is basically like it's basically like what the HTML font size is. We'll show you a bit more later, or we'll forget, who knows. Percentage is the it's relative to the parent element. So I'll definitely show you this a bit later. It's the idea yeah, I'll show you a bit later in the code along. And if you want to see some more references, just look up CSS units in Google and then just look for W3 schools, and that's a good reference.
All right, so going over comments, basically just like any other word, basically like Java or C, the syntax for a comment is a backslash or a forward slash, asterisk, asterisk, and then a forward slash. So pretty much everything in between is going to be ignored, and you can put it anywhere in your code. Just make sure you write something actually useful in the comment, so like I don't know, it'd be more useful, and because it's used for providing hints in your code. And yeah, here's a picture of a comment. All right, CSS backgrounds. So basically, just like it sounds, the background color property sets the background color, the background image property sets a background image, and the background repeat property, it is basically used to repeat an image either horizontally or vertically until it fills up the entire background. So if you want to repeat an image vertically, you would write repeat -y, and then the background attachment. This property allows you to specify whether or not you want the background image to move with you as you're scrolling through the page. So if you set the property as scroll, when you scroll down, the image will move down with you. If you set it to fixed, the image won't move down with the content. And then background position, this property sets the starting position of a background image. So there are a bunch of values you can use, like right, left, top, center, bottom. All right, fonts. So the font family basically specifies the font of an element. In this case, it's Arial, and Arial's already installed in the browser, so we don't actually have to install it. If we want a different or a special font, we can actually import a font. There are a bunch of easy ways to do it. And then font weight, it sets the weight of the font. And font style, it basically, like, use it if you want to use italics. So you can choose normal, italics, or oblique. And the font size sets the size of the font, so you can choose a numeric value. And yeah, the picture has a bunch of it demonstrates a font weight, font style, and font size. Wait, I think we skipped a slide.
Sorry, I think we did. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
There it is.
All right, color. So for color, it can be specified using a hexadecimal value or a RGB value. So R stands for red, green, G stands for green, and B stands for blue. It can be used to change the background color, text color, or border color. So yeah, that's like a picture shows the background color being changed to tomato and light blue.
Just on a note of hex, a hexadecimal, it's just a base 16 number, nothing special. If you don't know what that means, it's just a really big number that, I mean, it's just a number system that we can assign values to. It's a number. That's all it is. And don't feel afraid. Box model. What is the box model? This is the thing in CSS. I'll show you a bit more. Like you can inspect element, and I could show you a bit like what it actually means. Basically, there's like several values that you can edit, and calls padding, border, margin, and things like that. You can, when you're embedding HTML inside of an object, there's like several spacing things that you can edit. Wow, this is a wonderful explanation, but I'll show you. I will show you a bit more in the code along. So just bear with me for a second. There's like several things you can add. You can. Okay. I will show you a bit more, but just know that there's several values such as border, padding, border.
F.
So it's time
F
for
in the
the.
chat. Oh,
What's
Sigma,
up?
you're back. Can you repeat what you said? You cut out.
Oh, did I cut out?
Yep.
Oh man, how much did you guys hear?
Probably like the last 10 seconds cut out.
All right, cool.
So,
Just know that you can edit these values: padding, border, margin, and what the hyphen to width of the actual content is. That's all you need to know. For now, I'll show you a bit more. And if that's not enough, ooh, oops, it's not what I meant to go. Well, whatever. I'll just open up REPL. We're just gonna do this. Open up a REPL. CSS demo. That's correct. All right, cool. So for this, we're just show you. I'll show you a bit about how. Just double check. All right, cool. So I told you that we were going to cover selectors in a bit more detail in the code along, so I'll just show you right now. Let's just make a paragraph tag. It's going to be called.
you should zoom in a little.
Zoom in. I got you. If my PC could catch up. Sorry. I am installing Oculus software at the moment, so my my SSD bandwidth is not optimal. Anyway, sorry about this. All right, cool. So paragraph tag. Let's just write. This is a very good paragraph. Very good paragraph. Yeah, that's how you spell paragraph, right? Then we'll just add a class equals, I don't know, something descriptive like P1. That's very descriptive. So we'll just do that. And let's just add a period, because that is we're trying to select that specific HTML like element using a class attribute. So we're just going to put a period right there, and we're going to put P1 as the as that. So we're going to put brackets, and let's just run it. We have no CSS. There it is. That is a very good paragraph. Graph. And let's say I wanted to change this. Let's say I was really into illegibility. So I would put like, I don't know, background dash color. I'm going to wait because my PC just froze again. Any moment now. Yep. All right, cool. All right, so let's just say I put background color and then colon. I don't know. I'm thinking black because I really don't want anyone to be able to read this. There it is. I changed the color thing. Now, what if I wanted other things to be black? Other things, just.
Singman's PC really dying here though. F.
All right. Well, shit. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello? Okay. Did anyone hear me swear? Oh,
yes.
Man. Oh, man. Okay. Looks like either my internet crapped out or private internet access is currently eating my thing. Anyway, am I good now? Cool. Let's just say I wanted to make another thing, another thing illegible. So we'll just put P1 again, and voila, we have 2 black bars. Yay! You'll notice that the text is still there though. If I could. PC froze. You know what? I'm just gonna go to Task Manager and close my Oculus thing real quick. I thought I had the bandwidth, but apparently not. That's unfortunate. Okay, give me a minute. Oh yeah. Shoot, excuse me. Close that. All right, cool. Well, you didn't see that. Come on. Come on now. Am I good? All right. So you'll notice that the text is still there. So there we go. Now, what if I wanted to make sure that some of the stuff is like, some of it's not the black background with black text and makes, what if I just want to make some sense? So I'll just put a span. There we go. Just put some readable text. And then put a style dot equals, and then we'll just put the background color as white because I want it to be readable. And voila, look at that. You see that? You see that? Part of it is readable because we've embedded CSS into HTML. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Okay, so I'm gonna put well, let's talk about the box of the things, box. Let's talk about box. So about box model. So let's just make a black box real quick. I'm gonna add border. Sorry, I don't actually remember. I'm gonna try to make a black border, so I'll just look it up real quick. Google's your best friend. Don't worry about it. How do I make it?
Border 1px solid black.
Thank you. What was it? Border.
You could just say 1px solid black on the same line.
Right.
Space solid black, yeah.
Thank you.
So what that'll do is it'll make a border around the box that's 1 pixel wide, and then it'll be a solid line instead of a dotted line, and then it'll be color black.
Also, the order of those don't matter. Like, just for reference, you can flip them around.
Yeah, so you can do 1px black solid, 1px black, wait.
Sorry, yeah, go ahead. I'm making a box. I know I named it bot, okay? Don't worry about it. Calm down.
Basically, you can do your CSS in whatever order you want. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. All right, so if you inspect element here, let's see. You can see that okay, so I'm using Firefox. I'm not sure if Chrome has this, so apologies, but Firefox master race. Anyway, so here it is. Here's the box model, and basically you can show it here that the content, you can change the actual size of it. If we had, like, let's say if we embedded, like, I don't know, if we added like several paragraph things here, stuff, P, other stuff. So some text would appear. I know it's not inside the box, that's not the point. I can change the padding of the thing, so we can change like how to space inside the div separately. So like let's just say we just want 500 px. I want it. Sorry. How did I do this? Okay. So if we wanted to change the the spacing of like two divs, so we would just add margins and then we add another thing, and then that should add another box. If we want to change it, then we can change like one of these values to different, and the box is now down south. And you can explore upon this, and you can change the values of padding, margin, and width and height to get that. And that's pretty much it. Thanks. Sorry about that.
Okay, I wanna pick up from where Singmin left off. I have a couple ideas of things to showcase. So I'm gonna open up my own REPL and share my screen. Bam. So if you haven't been following along with Singmin's tutorial so far, just go to REPL and create a new one, HTML.js CSS, and oh, whoops. Just click create. Okay, once your REPL has loaded, just know that last week we coded our stuff in the script.js file here, right? So CSS goes in the style.css file, and REPL just automatically includes it for you. So say we have like a div element, and we just have one div element on our page. And we want to have all our div elements be red and 100 by 100 pixels, right? Then we would do div space and then a bracket. You don't actually need a space here, but I like to put it there. And then width colon 100px, which stands for 100 pixels, height, and 100px, which stands for 100 pixels, obviously. And then to set the background color, you just do background dash color and then red. And when I run this, it'll create a 100 by 100 box. Right, so now let's say we want to have another div inside. So let me just put bam. And then I want to have this box be blue and 50 by 50 pixels. Then I would put class equals blue box. And then in the style.css, I would say dot blue box. Here, dot stands for, dot means class, and then hashtag means ID. So dot blue box. Background color is blue. Whoops, I forgot to. Okay, and then this one, the one above, we want to make it red, so red box. Right, and then we change this over here to dot red box. And I spelled background color wrong. So now when we do that, whoops, I forgot to specify width and height. Width 50px, height 50px. Now there will be a 50 by 50 blue box inside the red box. And well, this isn't centered, right? And let's say you want it to be in the middle. Well, let's see how my CSS skills go with this one. So in CSS, centering stuff is notoriously difficult, so I'm just going to do a little bit of cheating here. If the box is 50 pixels wide and the bigger box is 100 pixels, then to center it horizontally, you would offset the box by 25 pixels, right? So what I would do is do margin left 25 pixels, which would place the box 25 pixels off over here. And then to put it in the middle vertically, I would just do margin top 25 pixels. And then that'll place the blue box. Oh, whoops. What's the correct way to do this here? I can't remember. Let me check the chat. I can't remember what the correct command is. Okay, well, Rishi's suggesting a better way to do this, the correct way, so I'm going to teach that. Basically, in the parent element, or the thing that's surrounding the blue box, you put display flex. So display flex, that's a new thing in CSS that lets you do really cool things. I'm not very familiar with how to use flex properly, but I know it's pretty cool. So to center elements inside it, you would just do justify content. So everything inside should be justified in center, and then align items center. And that should, in theory, put the box in the center. Yes, okay. So I'm pretty sure align items is, I can't remember. Align items is vertical. So if you put align items center, only align items center, then you would center it vertically, but not horizontally. And if you put justify content, that'll do it horizontally as well. And another thing you can do is, for example, if you wanted to have a text inside this box, right? So let's say, hello world, hello. Let me just say hello. Right, by default, it's black and you can't really see it. So let's say we wanted to make this white and bold, not bold. Let's say we want to make it a little bit smaller. Then we would say color white, and color means text color. So that'll make the font color white, and we can change the font size by, let's say 15, and that'll make it. Oh, that's pretty much the same. Try 20. Oh wait, what did I do wrong?
To specify a value.
I see. Okay, so you put px to specify the pixel size. So that's like the same as in Google Docs when you specify like font size. Or you can do 1em, which means the default font size, and then if you do 0.5 em, it'll be half of the default font size. We can also do, were there any others that we should cover? Any other interesting quirky ones?
Maybe we were going over like relative units. Maybe make the boxes like full width.
Right. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Okay. So let's say that we want to have this box resize automatically, because right now it's very small on the page, right? And we want it to be like very big for everyone, no matter how big their screen is. So the way you would do that is, let's say width is 100%, and then height is 100%. Oh, 100%. So then what that would do is this red box will be 100% the width of the screen and 100% the height of the screen. Except height doesn't work, I don't know why. But, well, width works, so whatever. And then if we want to have this box be like 75% of the width of this larger one, then we can do width, then 75%. And that'll make it, oh, what the heck? Oh, I deleted height. 75px, or 75%. Then this blue box will be 75% the width of the red one. And if we change the width of the red box, it'll also change the width of the blue box, because it's always 75% of the element surrounding it. And because this red box surrounds the blue box, it will conform to that. There are also other units like VH. So if you want to have the, let's see, if you want to have this blue box height 50% of the vertical of the screen instead of the red box, you can do height equals 50 VH. And VH stands for viewport height. So that's the height of the window. And it's a scale from 0 to 100. So if you run that, it'll be half the screen size. Oh, also borders are pretty cool too. So border, let's say 5px dotted black. That'll make a 5-pixel border that's dotted in black. Let me make that white so it's more visible, like that. And there are a lot of ways to do this, like solid. I don't know what the list is. Solid dotted border CSS. there are a ton. So let's look at a list. You can select from none, hidden, dotted, dashed, solid, double, groove, ridge, inset, outset, initial, inherit. So there's a lot of them. Let's try groove, for example, right? You can just place it in here, bam, and there's your interesting border. Let's try another one, double. Bam. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. So another thing you can do is border radius to round off your corners. So border dash radius 5 pixels, and that'll make a 5 pixel rounded corner. Let's make this super extreme and like 100 pixels. And that'll do like a super round object. So yeah, there are a lot of interesting CSS properties you can play around with. I encourage you to look up interesting ones and try them out yourself. Any questions? Oh, we should try images. Oh yeah. Okay, so let's say we have an image. What's a good image? Let's just go with Limerick. Say we have the, I don't know, this image, right? And we want to put it in our HTML. Well, we could just copy the image link, and then in our HTML, create an image element, image src, which stands for source, by the way, equals, and then in the quotes, you put the link, and then slash image. And then when you run that, it'll put the image on the page, right? So let me clear out the other elements, because yeah, so you can place an image on the page, and say we wanted to control the style of this image. Let's go into style.css and then image, and oops, inside here, let's say we want the color or the border color to be border 1px solid black. And then to control the width and height, we can do width 50%, height 50%. And if we do that, oh, whoops. What's happened here? Oh, okay. VW and VH. What? Oh, am I supposed to use IMG? Yeah, I think in HTML you're supposed to use IMG. I forgot about that. There you go. So now when you resize the page, the image resizes with it. Oh, someone raised a hand. Jeffrey. Yes. You have a question? Let me check the chat. Stretch. Wide Putin. Yes. Okay. So we can put like Putin here, for example, right? And then let me just copy the image, and then put it in the HTML here. And if I run this, it'll put Putin. But then if I expand it, it'll be super wide. So let me make this 100. So what that'll do is, yeah, that'll just make Putin really wide.
I think if you want to show how to fix it, I think you can do height auto. I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Oh, there's a message in chat. Oh, okay, never mind. So yeah, if you have the time, I encourage you to just go look up some random CSS properties and play around with them, see how they work. And if they don't work, don't worry. Just ask us any questions in Discord. We are always there to help. Except we probably don't know either, so we probably have to look them up as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Singmin, do you have a sign-in link?
Oh yeah, I'll put in chat. Give me a sec.
Oh yeah, I use CSS sometimes to get like past elements that block things. Like if there is a page that has like a subscribe to or something something to view this content or whatever, I just delete it through inspect element or like set its visibility to false or to hidden. So let me actually quickly demo that. See, we have this image here again, right? And we want to hide it. You can just say display none, and then it won't show the image.
I mean, with
So
the
you can,
paywall thing, you might have some trouble because you can't actually access. You can't like select
yeah,
like into the
but
text.
sometimes developers are
there.
lazy and they just put like a image over the content. So what you can do is just hit display equals none and inspect element, and then boom. So yeah, everyone sign in with this link here, tinyurl.com/webdevsignin, and the code is CSS. Thanks for coming.